Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cabin in the Clearing. We're here with our good friend Soungui Koulamallah. He is a local business owner in Ottawa, a wonderful human being as well, a good friend of ours from high school. I've got my co-host Guy over here as well. And
how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, we're just here to talk a little more about some local business and some just, I guess, what we strive for in our lives and, you know, what we look to do and, like, I guess your personal preferences in lives and what you or your approach, I should say, with your gym and everything and what you're trying to do and physical health and mental health and
yeah. So at Soungui Fitness, we're located downtown Ottawa, off of Bank and Gladstone. What we aim to do there is to help people achieve healthier and happier lives, and turn that into a long-lasting habit that they can maintain on their own. Yeah, so we get them going in that direction, guide them until they feel like they're comfortable doing this on their own, and then, you know, they have the option to continue to stick around with us or continue doing their own thing, which a lot of clients, surprisingly, you know,
end up staying.
Like, even though they reach that point where they are comfortable enough to be in the gym on their own and have enough of the knowledge to go in and
take these steps on their own.
Do these steps on their own, they choose to stay. And I think that's due to a lot of our great customer service that we provide. Because when people come in, we don't just treat them as a client. We try to build a relationship with them that's deeper than that.
That's great to hear. Honestly, that is really important. Is establishing that like clientele, almost like friendship in a way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really actually what I was thinking as well. Is like it's more of a community thing. You know, a lot of people probably feel like they're part of a family when they go there instead. Of just it's like working out with your homies instead of, you know, like, you know, instead of feeling like
it creates a sense of, like, you know, value as well, right? You're working with people and you're trying to better them and they're trying to better themselves. And so even just in my opinion, being like a person who can kind of be the bridge for that person to walk across, you know, like you're saying, either the person will decide later on to follow that journey on themselves, or they'll just continue and keep working with you guys. And that's something that's really important. A lot of the times, you know, people want to make that transition but aren't able to, and even stay consistent is another huge factor. So yeah, it's really it's amazing to hear that. It's really good that we have people like that.
100%. And actually, consistency. What would you say? Like, do you have any points on consistency? Because that's a word that always comes up a lot. Like, in fact, like that, I would say is one of my biggest struggles was consistency to begin with. You know, it's not necessarily always doing workouts and, like, you know, or exercising or doing things, healthy habits. It's actually just like maintaining it. So
that's what it's all about. Consistency is key. It's one of the biggest keys to success, because if you're starting something and you want to achieve a goal, say you want to be 20 pounds stronger, you want to lose equivalent to that number, 20 pounds, and you work out for 1 week, realistically, you're not going to get to that point, right? You got to be consistent with your goals. You got to keep going. You can't go one day, decide the next day that you're not going to go. It's like you got to set yourself routines that are going to become a part of your lifestyle that will get you to that goal in the end.
I feel like there's a lot of people, and I mean, you know, I might have been a victim of it in my past, of just, you know, wanting everything today and now, and really understanding that there is no shortcut. You know, it took me a long time to actually really coin, and not only coin it, but to actually implement it. You know, that lesson.
I actually agree with that. Like, almost sometimes how much time you spend looking for a solution or looking for a quicker route, you know, like almost like, and it's like, the amount of time I've spent trying to do that, I could have just been focusing on that, you know.
Exactly. It's really reorganizing or reorganizing your time or your energy. You know, you could have just skipped all that, you know, so why just start doing it, you know. So I think
that's true, because like nowadays we're kind of, in society, like as humans, we're conditioned that way, you know, to want to get things like quickly, like instant messaging, 100%. You know, emails and whatever we
instant
expect to happen.
As they call
instant
it.
gratification. We click a button, or, you know, we click on an app, right away we get what we're looking for, and then we get those.
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
That's such a really good point. It's true. And it's everything, instant gratification. That's, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. That's awesome.
it ties into like I guess the way we mentally approach things, like, you know, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna like pump iron for like a couple hours, and it's just like boom, I'm good to go, you know. But
yeah, well, if you go in with that mindset, you might, you know, temporarily get that pump, you know, looking a little swole, but how long is that gonna last, right? So your consistency has to last, the amount of work that you're putting in order for that result to last as well.
There was an interesting thing that there was a guy who came on to a podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was a professional MMA fighter. Okay. And he was saying that if you look at two like subjects, so to speak, you know, you have one guy A, and he goes to the gym, you know, and he just goes like hard. He just like, you know, gets exhausted, and then after he needs like 2-3 day recovery because he's so exhausted from those 2 days that he went, you know, as opposed to guy B where he goes into the gym, but he goes every single day, but he does light workouts, you know, and he's consistent about it. So then the thing is like at the end of the year, who got in more workouts? You know, it became a matter of volume. And I think that's something that's really important to kind of understand, because that's been helping me personally, even though like, especially with lockdown, I'm sure it's been hard on a lot of people, but like, you know, we've been like at it pretty much every day. And like, I see the difference, you know what I mean? Because we're literally like even 40 minutes a day and just like be conditioned. And like, yeah, sometimes you wake up and you don't feel like doing it, but it's like,
yeah, and if you think of like your longevity of well-being in that sense, like just like the actual impact on your overall health as far as you're growing into your 60s and 70s, like things like that, it's like if you're very consistent, your muscles and your body, and like especially with eating well to coincide with that, is like you're just gonna in the long run have a better, you know, because even just the way that like people put a lot of harm on their body sometimes with physical labor too much, you know, on a daily basis and stuff, and then it's like it breaks you down, but you got to kind of just like, you still need that rest and that.
You gotta build that routine, get your body used to it. Like, start off small. You don't gotta go in right away. Be like, okay, I'm gonna lift as many as I can today. No, cut that in half. I'm gonna lift, you know, maybe say 3 reps of 80 pounds, for example. 3 reps of 80 pounds, and the goal is to get to like 150. I'm gonna lift 3 reps of 80 pounds. Do that maybe twice a week. After a month, pick that up 3 times a week. Then increasing the weight once I feel strong enough, comfortable enough to get to a higher weight, and then slowly progress your way up to that. And that's how you're going to build some long-lasting success. And that's what we aim to do at Soungui Fitness. We want to help you build long-lasting success. That's not just like, okay, you get it and then you stop. Like most people, they go in with that mindset. If you go in with the mindset of, you know, just wanting to work towards your goal, and then once you achieve it, it's done, as opposed to making it part of your lifestyle and routine, then you're just like putting yourself into a cycle. You know, you get to the goal, okay, I've achieved it, you step back, and then you get back to where you were, where you didn't want to be, and then, you know, it repeats itself.
It's a vicious cycle, yeah.
And I was going to say, speaking of which, like, as far as consistency goes, I've seen your mom's been like working out a lot with you at the gym. Like, and you got her inspired into that, like coming in, like how did that actually just start? Maybe?
My mom is such a great inspiration to myself, and like she's started her own health path on her own time without me even influencing anything. Like, I remember back in the day, at nighttime she'd pull out the treadmill and start like running on the treadmill or walking, and then doing exercises and doing her own thing. So she's always been kind of like motivated in that way, and I gave her the opportunity to guide her. Like, I presented her with that opportunity to like guide her in a fitness facility, and, you know, take her beyond what she already knew, you know. So I brought the guidance, the knowledge, and she's taken that and she's doing excellent with it, as most people have seen on my Instagram. Like, yeah, she's so strong. She's lifting much heavier weights than when we started. I posted she lost over 17 pounds in like within a couple months that we were training, which is amazing. And that's just because like she had the right guidance, but she also had the right mentality from the start.
And like you said, she already kind of started with that at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like I kind of want to know like just about yourself too as well, and like what's your background, like in that kind of theme, you know, what's your background, and like just, you know, you don't have to go crazy into detail, but I'm just curious, like how did you come across to even starting a business? You know what I mean?
starting my own business, working for myself specifically was something I've always wanted to do growing up. So I always wanted to go down a path of playing professional basketball, and that path led me to where I am. So that passion to want to work on my fitness and maintain that, and that branching off later on into helping other people do that as well. So I ended up finding about a program at Algonquin called Fitness and Health Promotion, which was amazing. It taught me everything I needed to know, and it further developed that passion that I had and allowed me to open up my own business and start helping people do the same thing. And there's a huge long story with all that, but I'll do my best to keep it short. I had a high school friend who was running his own gym. It's called Kayo-Tea Fitness. So
I remember this actually.
Shout out to Kyle Broom, Kayo-Tea Fitness. You guys helped me get started, man, and I appreciate you. Yeah, St. Joseph.
720, 700.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. So I saw he was doing his own thing, and I was like, I was constantly talking to him, like, I want to.
I remember that.
I want to run my own gym as well.
Actually,
yeah, and he was like, man, you got to stop talking about it. Make a plan. Write this down. Set a date for when you want to get started, and I'll let you, operate out of this facility. And that's how everything got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the best straight up, not harsh, but just real advice you could ever ask for. Just stop talking about it.
Stop, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is with that,
I remember personally training with you, man. That was I remember when you first started the business, and we met at Rito Center back in the day, and you're just starting out because we had seen each other a little bit at school from going to the MIA, and then you and the fitness thing, yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah, it was a exciting journey to go along, and like mentioned, I had to take the idea and stop talking about it. Right now I've kind of conditioned my mind to be don't talk about shit, just do it. Stop talking about it. You're wasting time talking about it. If you really want to get it done, take action and set it in motion, and then build momentum off of that and see where it goes. If it doesn't go where you wanted it to, then
I feel like that idea is a bit harder though to conceptualize or actually to enact on it for just the average listener. What tools can somebody use, in your professional opinion, to kind of, because sometimes people get caught up in that cycle of they only do talk about it, but what is that podium, or what advice that you could give to the listener to be to actually do it? Is just
every single time someone approaches me with an idea that they have for business or for growth in my business or in anything that they're working towards, I tell them the first thing I ask them actually is, have you written this stuff down? All of these ideas you have you written them down? Because that's kind of that's the first step of manifestation.
Yeah, right? Holding yourself accountable.
Exactly. Once you put it down on paper, you're bringing it into reality. That's the first step of bringing it into reality. And then you can visually see what it is that you need to work on, the steps that it's going to take you to get to where you're trying to go.
Wow.
I love that, man.
Good point, yeah.
Yeah, and just what goes hand in hand with writing it down is just actually starting to follow those ideas and then actually enact on it. Like you're saying about taking, actually using them. Yeah. It's just sitting and accepting sometimes that you're gonna fail. Like I've been at home sometimes and I'm just doing things and it's not really going the way I want it to, but it's just part of the process of it anyway. So it's it's still gonna get you to the goal. So you can't think of the goal being oh, I'm failing and that's the goal. It's just it's just part of the stepping stone.
Yeah. And another thing I would say to people too is take opportunities. When you see an opportunity that presents itself, jump on it. Right, you have time to think it through afterwards. Jump on it right away. If I had waited and I questioned, should I really be what I was being told to stop talking and write it down? Should I really be starting this right now? Letting all these excuses build up in my head. I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have. How am I going to get the clients? How am I going to get people interested? If you think about all the problems that could potentially exist, you won't allow yourself to see clearly the opportunities that are in front of you, because the opportunities are everywhere. You just got to be able to turn your focus towards them.
Wow.
That's absolutely true. And actually, to tie into the point you said about like when people tell you stuff, like ideas that they have, or when they're excited about something, it's like that's another thing to pay attention to is pay attention to what lights you up, like what gets you going and fires you up. So if you're excited talking about it, try to follow that, like you know, and just be like, that's something I should do. Like, because I'm passionate.
Something that's interesting too is like what you're talking about, like kind of manifestation. Going back to that point about like, you know, writing it down to visualize it. Something that I wanted to kind of ask you about is what was that process when you were coming up with your logo? Because your logo, what's the story behind your logo, and what does your logo kind of represent as art itself?
Ooh, okay. So I love that question because it allows me to go into my deep explanations, which I love to go into. So long story, again, I was working as a security guard at a nightclub.
Really?
And, you know, I was always talking to the regulars and sharing ideas that I had of my own. And one of the regulars, I was telling them, I was like, yo, I'm trying to get started with a business. His name is Roger. Roger, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for, you know, being part of the process. So he's like, yo, listen, you should create a logo or something and start selling merchandise, because I was talking about starting up a business. And he's like, yeah, I know a guy, like, I'll connect you guys. And he's like, what do you want the logo to kind of embody? And I wanted it to embody physical, mental, and spiritual health. So he took all those three things, and then he's like, okay, cool. He sent me like a draft, and he's like, what about this? It was like Shiva, right? With the many arms. He's like, what do you think about this? And then I was like, okay, not bad. And then he sent that to his connection. They put together the logo and then sent it my way. And, you know, of course, like, I got the logo and it didn't really grow on me right away. I had to ask people, family. And eventually I was like, yo, this is actually a pretty dope logo.
It is.
So,
It's super dope. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, so that's...
You can see it on the sweater right there.
There you go.
Represent.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so...
I got to pick one up.
I guess that wasn't a long story. That was a pretty quick story, but yeah, I'd love to hook you guys up with some Soungui Fitness merch.
I'm definitely, I was almost gonna ask for one today. Like, I was gonna hit you up in the chat and be like, yo, can you bring one? Like, I'll buy one off you 100%. So
absolutely.
No, that's awesome. And like, so with your gym right now, does it reflect any kind of, you know, social issues or political issues? I know political issues are a bit touchy sometimes, but like maybe with social, like you're talking about mental health and and you seem to be an advocate for that. So I'd like just to hear your opinion. Does your brand represent that as well?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, mental health. I believe in its importance greatly because, you know, without your mental health, you can't really focus on other things. Like, if you go to the basic human needs, like, you can't focus on any of that if you're not right mentally and taking care of yourself in that manner. And I think, and what I know from what clients have told me is that without us allowing them to train in this space, they don't know what they would be doing right now, and they would pretty much lose their minds because of the routines that they have.
Wow.
Just being at home, not doing anything, so being able to get out and, you know, do some exercise, get active. And that's one of the great benefits of exercising as well, you know, lowering anxiety and depression. So
yeah,
I think that's what's so important about you guys providing such a welcoming space, you know, and making it such a, like, you know, just everyone can kind of feel comfortable there and just go at their own pace, you know. That's the important part. It's not the important part about how big you are or anything. It's just
exactly
feeling good.
We want everybody to be comfortable in our space, and we invite anyone to come in that's looking to, you know, wherever you are on your journey, come and get started, and we'll help you grow to where you need to grow to.
My man.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I don't
Maybe
think
a cup of Kayo-Tea at the same
I haven't
time.
been to your new location, but it's something that I noticed about the welcoming nature, just even like your online presence and everything like that, or just the statements that you say. You know, you can tell that you guys are really welcoming as people, and I think that's a really important factor when you want to contribute to people like that socially, you know, mentally, or
Yeah.
trying to help them change physically. So I think it's important.
And it actually brings me to a point that you brought up when you showed up, was the welcoming energy is very important. Like, and I think that's something that we have to like expand throughout humanity in general, because it just goes to show that when, you were making the point of like when you spread love, you receive love. Like the type of energy you give out into the world is usually reciprocated in the same way, or at least processed and understood, and like not taken as like aggressive, and then someone can actually maybe take the time to think things through more, and like so what, like, do you have any comments on that kind of thing, and like how you approach people and just in general? Because it's like I definitely find your personality style is very like just positive, and
I appreciate that, man.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so I believe it's important to approach people with positivity, with love, with respect, kindness, and with open arms, because then that allows them to feel like they can reciprocate that and, give that to you as well. And I found in a lot of circumstances that has been beneficial for myself and whoever I'm working with. An example of when I used to work security back in the nightclubs, like, as people tell me so many times that, you're the nicest security guard that I know. How come, like, you're so different from the rest of the security guards? And I'm like, I don't know. That's because I, give respect, because I expect that in return. If I were to act aggressive to these, patrons, like, they would do the same thing back to me. I've had people tell me that if I didn't handle situations as I did, then we'd be fighting. Like, and that's not necessarily where you want things to go, right? You want to de-escalate things. You don't want to aggravate people and
100%.
Yeah.
get them upset,
Because at the end of the day, mutual understanding is like where things can really progress from, and people can kind of like learn better, I guess.
Exactly. If you allow yourself to take a step back and have a conversation with someone, you'll better understand what they're going through, what they're experiencing in life, and you guys can talk about it, and then you learn something about each other that you wouldn't have known if you just allow yourself to get like act emotionally and just like be upset and unsatisfied.
100%.
Yeah.
And even though I still indulge in social media on a daily, it's like I definitely find that a lot of it does create that division, in the sense that it's just like people are always on one side or the other, but there's never really any sort of mutual conversation between everybody at the same time. And that's a problem too, is that like people get angry with each other, and it's fair. Everyone has their points on either side of things in life, but it's like no one has actually taken the time to like, and I mean, a lot of that is pandemic, created it as well. The fact that we can't really socialize as much with a group of people, but if you like had a group of people sitting all together and discussing these ideas, and like, yeah, you'd probably have people flaring out, getting mad, and like, kind of like bitching about the same, in the same manner as they do on social media, but it's just, there's not that wall of just like, you're following one set of algorithms, or you're following one set of things. It's like you're seeing everyone's side.
Yeah.
But you're also able to maybe convince someone of something else. But then also on the thing, or on another point, it's good to not have pride and be like, oh, I can't learn something off of this. Like, don't think that you're like only the one that's right,
Yeah, it's good to be empathetic and place yourself in that person's shoes, and the only way you can do that is by listening to them. Not listening to them with the intent to reply, but listening to further understand. At the end of the day, most people, we all want the same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to feel loved. We all want connection. Like, we all are fighting for the same thing at the end of the day. We're just not listening to each other. That's why there's so much confusion and like misunderstanding.
Absolutely.
Wow. There's something I've noticed too when because I've been watching your Instagram like videos, and something I noticed is that in the background there's always like a kind of like a speech, kind of like, well, so like I listen to a lot to like Alan Watts. He's a philosopher, YouTube.
Yeah,
and
I love
so
Alan Watts.
I always hear that kind of like talk in the background, and so that kind of leads me to what's the story behind that. But not only that, is through everything, like what is your influence? What is your drive? Like, do you have influences?
My number one influences would be my family. I'd say family, because if I'm successful, they're successful, right?
Exactly.
If I'm in a position to help them out, then life's gonna be easier for them, and I will be in that position. I'm not quite there yet, but I will be in that position, and I want to be able to uplift other people that have dreams of their own and want to go and achieve certain things as well. So
Well, if you can hear it from someone who's seen it from a third person perspective, you've come a very long way, man, and help other people come a long way. Like, I mean, so at the same time, starting out at Yadi or whatever the gym was called, and now you're downtown Ottawa. That's progression, 100%.
It
was straight up. I remember, just meeting you. It's like you're just meeting someone at a mutual spot that they can use, and then it's like now I'm going to Soungui's gym, bro. Like, straight up, he's like on the wall, man.
But what about basketball too? Because I know you're super involved in basketball. Do you have any influences there? Because I see you always posting, like, just I don't personally follow basketball as much as I probably should, but I feel like you're supporting other people as well, like locally, right?
Locally, I have university and college athletes that come in and train with me at the gym. That's awesome. I open my space to them as well to come in and do their own thing, and I have done some coaching with basketball teams in the past, not currently, but I am currently working with. Did you go to Philemon, right? You guys, we went to Philemon together, right? So yo,
Philly, yo. I know, it's wild. Look where we're at, bro.
So like, I'm back there actually right now. I'm running an extracurricular activity with the junior high school and high school students. So
nice.
In Philemon. So at their lunch periods, I go and run workout programs for them.
Yo, that's awesome. Dope.
That's sick.
Man. And speaking of, just to kind of tie it in together, we always bring up how, the people we have on these podcasts and whatever, and we're just trying to always like talk about, good vibes in life and like things you can do and whatever. And I guess being a person in general. Yeah. But like, it's kind of cool how it connects, because we're drinking Kayo-Tea right now. And, sponsor Kayo-Tea. Yeah. We didn't even say that at the beginning. I'm sorry, Kayo-Tea. Still bring us a bag of tea, man. I don't want to.
We're sponsored. Kayo-Tea. Check it out in the description.
It's as well as
tea. Actually, we'll be linking Soungui's website.
Soungui's information
to his gym.
as well.
And we'll put in the your website too, because you have merch and stuff too. So
I got merch.
People like to do.
I got the merch.
The merch. But so another like kind of thing I wanted to ask you too is, what tools do you use, and how do you actively try to use those tools to develop your ongoing career?
I like that. One of the most important tools in my life that I use is my Google Calendar.
That's funny.
Yo, I remember you telling me about that back in the day. You're like, yo, write your shit down.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, I swear, if I don't put stuff in the calendar, it'll slip my mind. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm freaking out. Yeah. Like, shit, I missed out on this, or I'm running late, or it takes a lot of stuff off my mind that I don't need to focus on. Of course, it's in the back of the mind instead of having to be in the front. And I just follow the calendar. As soon as somebody tells me something's going on, like, this is my calendar for 2:30, I put it in my calendar right away because I didn't want to forget it,
Awesome.
Like, any tasks or anything I need to get done goes in the calendar as reminders, and like, very important to have a calendar, get yourself organized in life, because so many things are going on and you have so much stuff on your mind. No one's perfect. People are gonna forget things, and if you want to just prepare yourself to be successful and reduce the amount of stress of just trying to remember things, use a calendar. Like, use some kind of tool to help you remember things. You can write things down, tasks that you have to get done, but like, take it to the next levels, put it in the calendar, set that reminder so that you get the notification, because we have our phones on us all the time.
Yeah. Might as well use these tools.
We always have a reason to look at.
Exactly.
Let's just profit from these tools if they're going to be there, So
yeah,
I think it's important, yeah. And like, so like, to develop your career too, what I mean by that is like I've seen you shared a thing about CBC interview not too long ago. So how did you even get that opportunity? How do you seek these opportunities in general as well after that?
I feel like it's all a result of hard work and what you get out of the what you get is what you put in. So like, the amount of work that I've been putting in, I got myself to a level, myself and my business to a level where people are reaching out to me and being like, yo, you want to feature in this, or
you just get noticed.
You get noticed. You got to get yourself to that point, and it takes work. That's simply what it is.
Quality work.
Work and consistency. And if you don't know what work you should be putting in, reach out to somebody that knows how to get there. Talk to them, ask questions.
To the next level. So then that CBC, it was an interview, right? If I'm not mistaken.
CBC was an interview, but it was like kind of like on dialogue written interview online. So it's for Black History Month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were asking me some questions, and I was answering specifically about what I thought about Black History Month, and the things that I was doing in my community to help. So it went along those lines, yeah.
And so they just reached out to you, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they just reached out to me, which is pretty awesome. Just like where I had an exercise video put on CTV News.
No way.
One time, yeah, and they reached out to me as well. So like I said, like get yourself to a point where you're working so hard that other people start to notice and believe in what you're doing too.
Wow.
And actually, something else I was thinking of, just because you said your logo embodies the idea of like physical wellness, but also spiritual wellness.
Yeah.
Do you like I myself have been getting? I've always been spiritual, so to speak, but I've just been very much more focused on it lately in my life and how it ties into my well-being and things like that. And do you I'm guessing do meditation a lot?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've seen that. Yeah,
I was gonna say,
well.
do you start your meditations in the morning, like prior to actually working out, like beforehand or after?
So this is some secretive stuff. I'm gonna give you guys some top secret information.
Ooh,
No,
okay.
so this is
Yo,
my
inside scoop, bro.
routine. My routine. No one knows this routine. I haven't shared it.
Wow, this is gonna be on the internet.
My wife
That's
knows
so-
the routine. But no, I want everyone to be successful. So if you want to be successful, imitate those that are doing things that are leading them in that direction. So
Sure.
I wake up 4:30. My alarm goes off in the morning. I get up, get to the gym. Fortunately, I live close to the gym, so I get to the gym to work out for 5 o'clock when I have my lives going on. After I do my workouts, like Guy mentioned earlier, you want to do, or just one of you guys mentioned earlier, like
One of the Justins.
one of the Justins. So you want to not go crazy for 2 days working out and then not work out for like a couple of days.
Yeah, it's
You
exhausted.
do workouts each and every day, and the reason why I do that is to build that habit, because habits are so important to have, and it's important that you are consciously building those habits, because if you're not, then you're allowing yourself to, you will allow the opportunity for yourself to go in the wrong direction. So my routine, continuing back to that, so I work out 5 in the morning, usually end around 5:30. 30 minutes to an hour, that's all you need for a workout. You don't need any much longer than that. You got to push yourself through it. Any longer than that, you're just chilling and taking too much break time. I do that. I get some core strengthening in, do some stretching, and at the end of that, I do my meditation. So like after, I'm looking into the camera like I'm talking to, I am talking. I'm talking to you guys.
No, I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I get my meditation. So every single day, and then it's crazy, man. So the story of this is 3 weeks ago, there was someone who booked into my gym to use the gym at 6 in the morning, and something just clicked in my mind. It was like back when I used to play competitive basketball, where I was very competitive and stuff. Something clicked where it was like, okay, he booked in at 6 o'clock. I can't let him get to the gym before me. I gotta go in earlier. So that day I woke up, went in at 5 o'clock, and ever since that day, I've been like, every single day I've been continuing this routine. I forgot to add into, I do reading as well. So like when I get home after my meditation, which is usually right after, it's every single day, the same routine. I do some reading. I read a book, minimum 10 pages, and then I have some breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
What time are you going to bed though?
Sounds like a great morning.
Because you're talking about the morning here, and it's giving me anxiety just trying to like fall asleep.
but-
Is it 10 o'clock, 9?
Yeah, I have nephews that are like, yo, Soungui, that's OD, man. You can't be like, but what people don't realize is like, I'm still getting like 7.5 hours of sleep. So I go to sleep, I do my best I get ready for bed at 8 o'clock. I start getting ready for bed. Then I'm in bed like 8:30, 8:40, reading my book. And then 9 o'clock, I put the book down. If I gotta check my phone like one last time, a few times, then put it down. So by 9:30, I should be asleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people check their phones, and the whole blue light thing, right? Where it's like, it goes into it basically activates your brain to stay awake, right?
Kinda
It's like, I'm
stimulates
guilty of
it
it
too
too.
much.
That's why I try to like put my phone, but like, creating these habits is just like another way to essentially make sure that those, other habits aren't prominent.
It's like, it's important to be conscious of creating these habits, and I understand that it's fucking difficult, man. 100%. It's not easy, man. There's days where I'm just in bed, alarm goes off at 4:30. I'm like, yo, I don't need to get up and do this shit. But then I'm like, nah, you have to, like, you have to get up and continue doing this shit. Like, 100%. You have to, man. You gotta stick to your routines every single day. You gotta maintain those healthy habits. So
it's funny. Sorry, it's funny because I just want to add, like, we've built this thing. We've said it in a couple other podcasts. Well, there's two things. That it's quick 40 means like a quick 40-minute workout. Like, yo, you down for a quick 40 today, bro? And then he's like, yo, I'm super fucking down. And
it's motivating, man.
And then when one of us is just bitching out, we call each other a tomorrow guy.
I love it.
Because it's like nobody
want
wants
to coin that phrase.
Nobody wants to be a tomorrow guy, right? You got to do it today. Like, you should be in the moment, do it today. And then so and it started by like, it was just like, oh, like, yeah, I'm down for a workout, but I'd be more down for tomorrow. And then like he'll call me like, oh, you sound like a fucking tomorrow guy, man. And I'm like, fuck. And then right away it's like almost like a guilt trip. And then like I end up doing the workout anyway, right? So it's like these little tricks, anybody can invent them, right, for themselves.
True.
And those things will help
could be
you.
something different, but
I love that, man.
That's very well put. And it's funny too because it's like I'm traumatized by the word tomorrow now. Right? Like it just sounds bad. I'm like, no.
I have tomorrow today because you never know when you're gonna get that opportunity to. I love that tomorrow guy. It's a great way to hold each other accountable.
Tomorrow guy shirts.
We're
gonna drop some merch.
Hey, if you guys want, I can put that on a sweater or a t-shirt for you.
Are you a tomorrow guy?
With the logo.
Yeah. Question mark?
Are you a tomorrow guy?
Yo,
in the mirror,
right?
so you look at yourself.
That's lit. That's actually lit.
I'm so down for that. I'm so down. And you know what's funny though is that's funny that you going back to your point on accountability. Like that's the point of it. Is like now I don't even see his texting me like quick 40. Like I don't even see it as like like quick 40 now. It's like, oh fuck yeah. Like I'm like I'm doing that again today. Like it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing my workout today. Like it's almost not even like, it's more of a label for the workout sesh now. And it's like, so it's cool, man. It's like developed over time, but it started out as an inspirational thing first,
Yeah, we can easily condition ourselves to go in the direction of success or allow ourselves to go towards failure. So
man,
that's a really good point. 100%. We can. We just got to actually put in the work, Like,
yo, put in the time, man. Yo, for anyone listening out there, what's good? Yo, get up and go, man.
No, honestly,
get up and go. Yo, in the mornings, if you see my lives, man, I say get up and get active. And at the end of it, what I say is rise and grind. You get up and then you go and get started working on whatever it is you want to achieve.
It's true.
True that.
I want to know how you navigate in your profession. How do you navigate the world in your profession? This can look like, maybe other gyms, competition. How do you navigate?
So I'll touch on the competition part that you started talking about, and it's like I never ever looked at another gym as competition, never, because that's not the type of person I am. I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm trying to uplift myself and uplift other people, So I just focus on what I have to do to provide clients with whatever service is going to help them be most successful in life, in accordance to health and fitness. And something as well with my business and its growth and development is I'm always trying to find ways to implement new things that can help either the business out or people that are training in the business. And I'm always asking people what it is I can do, like, that would help improve the space. And recently we put up a suggestion box because I want to know from people that train with me, like, how can I make your experience better? And I've gotten a lot of them, and I'm still working on it. So
well, for sure.
So things like that in that manner. So hearing feedback is a huge thing in business, because if you don't know if you're doing something right or wrong, you're just gonna keep doing.
No, and I think it took me, like, personally a long time to even understand. Like, it was, for me, it was my drummer, Andrew. You know, he would tell, like, hey man, like, you know, you're when we're playing with drums, like, sometimes there's certain, like, riffs or whatever, certain things that I'll fall behind on. It means you know, sometimes you could rush, you're playing the song too quick and you're not on time, or you're falling behind and so you're not still playing on time. You know, it's just things like that. And at first I was like, you know, I was kind of like put up that wall, and then after I realized, I was like, hey man, like, no, you have to be open to positive criticism, because at the end of the day, criticism is only going to allow you to, you know, get that javelin and just fucking spear it, you know, down the 100 next yards that you got to get to, you know. So positive criticism. 100%.
No, it's actually so true, and we were talking about that the other night actually with some of our friends. It was like positive criticism is a sign of love, right in itself. Like, it's like you can't, like, we get so offended by, you know, people's criticism sometimes, but it's like, well, it's maybe just good to take, and it's like maybe some people are just being you know, aggressive sometimes, whatever, but like always try to take that as like, maybe I should look inwards and think about, you know. So I agree. Criticism is like, because I would be the same way, especially when I was younger, man. I just take criticism as more of a like, oh, what the fuck? Yo, what the
it's hard to take it, like, you know, at first. Sometimes it can come off as an attack. But I mean, if you look at the overall of it and you see where the person's coming and it's not malintent, I think you know,
exactly,
it's being open.
100%.
I feel like most discomfort with receiving criticism comes from the feeling of wanting to be like either perfect or not failing, and it's important for you to accept that in life you're gonna fail, and it's probably gonna happen a lot. You're not always gonna be successful, and the many successful people that are in the world right now have failed a lot, you know, and they are where they are because those failures taught them certain lessons, and they took those lessons and used them as like stepping stones to build in a different direction from where they were going.
I feel like, I mean, there's something that I thought of, and it's super relative to what you were just saying now, but it's kind of like, it's exactly, and I'm not going to claim that I invented it, because I'm sure people have said this before, but I posted, I was actually working out. I was like, I was doing you know when you like, you jump, and you just like jump, like, and you hold weights on the side of your hands? And I was just doing that, and then like, and I was just like so pumped in my head, I was like, and I have failure is an illusion. And what I mean by that, by failure being an illusion, it means that like, you just accept that you are going to fail, and those are stepping stones, and that's why it's an illusion.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, you're creating that. We talked about it the other night. It was awesome, man. Like, creating the idea of failure. You know, failure is just another part of living, and just another. But it's not like failure's not an end goal. Like, that's not an end game.
But then again, it could be flipped. The coin could be flipped if you think about it, right? Because it could be also success is an illusion at the same time. You know, because what's your definition of success?
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Hey, that's some deep shit. That's some deep shit, but it's true. It's true because, like, well, it goes hand in hand almost if you think about it. Like, failure's an illusion, so it's just like, so push through. And then success is an illusion in the sense that it's just like, if you're living to your fullest being, like if you're feeling good, if you're spreading love, if you're eating well, if you're you know, enjoying, like, I'm gonna get real deep here, but like enjoying scents, you know, enjoying scents, like smells, enjoying seeing people go by and do things, you know, it's a bright beautiful day, you got like flowers growing around, whatever, like, it's just, we appreciate these things, and it's like that in itself is success. Like, for me, like, it's like those are the best days I have, you know, and I just appreciate everything. Like,
also too, I'm leaning more towards of like how the success can like kind of blind you. You know, some success people get really too into it and they get blinded by it. So
true.
They can allow it to distract them in certain ways, or like blind them from
the actual integrity behind it. Maybe.
Success can 100%. They can, you know, the ego comes in, and then they can just like, you know, just be so blinded by success, and then almost, you know, you start elevating yourself. And
you're missing the actual point of the journey. Kind of just.
there's an interesting thing I just thought up about right now. So my wife, she's like a great business partner of mine, has been helping me out so much throughout my business.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alicia.
Yeah, shout out.
Love you, appreciate you so much. Yeah, she usually whenever we have like certain successes or we achieve new milestones with business, whatever, she like gets excited and whatnot. She's like, "Yo, how come you're not like celebrating?" And I'm like just I'm monotone with it. I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool." We reached a new milestone, or like we're more successful than we were at this point this year than we were last year. Yeah, reason I kind of reacted in that way is because I'm like, there's still much more that I want to get done, and I don't want to let myself get lost in that. It's important to celebrate your successes and achievements.
It is,
but
yeah.
for me, I'm at that point. I'm like, cool, it happened. Let's keep working. You know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, fair.
That's
It's almost like it's balance. You get that balance.
I don't want to
like,
let myself get too lost in the enjoyment, because then I'm like, okay, I've achieved it. I don't have to work anymore. Like, that's the type of mentality I don't want to allow myself to get to, and then I want to always work.
That's fair.
So actually,
100%.
you're pretty much talking about embodying that idea of the success being illusion sort of thing. Like, you're just kind of looking as like your
true.
job's
That's a
never.
really good point, actually.
Yeah.
It's never
Your job's
done.
never really done.
definition
like, it's
right
yeah. Like, yeah, my brain just fucking.
Yeah, it's true. It's never really done. And just like when you're working towards achieving a healthier lifestyle, it's never done, man. Like, because once you get somewhere, you stop, and then you allow yourself to go back and lose all the work that you put in. You want to make it a routine, something that becomes a habit and is just like second nature to you. It's like, okay, I've got to go and work out because it's gonna help build up my health and maintain it for the future. Like,
I actually wanted to ask, what do you do to like kind of cultivate / develop your fan base, or is it something that you kind of focus on, or is it kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, how you just kind of do you just exist, and you know, people will seek you? Do you actively like try to like look for fan base in terms of like, you know, like your Instagram and stuff like that, right? Because that's what you're doing, is you're creating value. When you create content, you create value for someone, and people like, it resonates with certain people, you know?
Exactly what you said right there, what you ended it with. Whatever you put out is going to resonate with certain people and not everybody. So we got to keep that in mind when we're putting content out, is who are we trying to target, right? Because in business or whoever, if you're a salesperson, you can't, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I want to be able to sell to everybody, you know, but that's it. If you focus on being able to sell to everybody, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. You got to find the specific group that you're going to be able to sell to, and then create all your content based around their interests and their needs, and then sell to them. And then from that, you might draw some other people in. And in terms of getting like you said, fan base, that all was like a long development of like starting off getting people in the gym to help me be able to build that content, and then after getting that content, putting it up on the internet, getting them to share it, allowing people to see that, word of mouth, you know, if you're providing a good and excellent service, then people are going to be likely to spread the word and let their friends know about it. So that's where my business is at right now, and I think it's a blessed place to be in. So at the word of mouth stage, which is like, you got to do the other work too, but most of it is from word of mouth for me.
Yeah, you seem to be pretty consistent with your posting, for sure.
So shout out to Alicia. She does all of the social media posting. That's why our social media looks amazing like it does. Yeah. So she kills it. She does an amazing job with it.
Because it's time consuming.
Yeah,
she's a pro at it.
To make it look right and like just organic as well at the same time, but professional.
Yeah, it's because I do it too, like just for my own Instagram, and I'm actually helping Kayo-Tea build his website, and I just revamped his whole Facebook page, his whole Instagram, and help them with his website. So we're sponsored by Kayo-Tea. Check in the link below because it's going to be there. It's also
Kayo-Tea and Soungui Fitness,
Soungui Fitness. Check his website. Check his merch.
And two portions of a healthy lifestyle right there. That's or two examples of a healthy lifestyle. Drink tea and get fit, yo.
Are there any like trends that you follow? Because I feel like and what I mean by trends is because I feel like there's, especially in nutrition, like if you look into nutrition, you look at like 30 years ago, maybe that's too long ago. There's like, they're telling you that this is bad for you and this is good for you. And then, like I'll use smoking, for instance, smoking, they used to tell you in the 1920s, like when people were going to war, that like smoking was healthy for you.
Smoke.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, are there any trends that you try and follow, or how do you keep up to date with new nutritional information?
Oh, wow. I am so lucky that my wife is a nutritionist, an orthomolecular health nutritionist, because she helps out with a lot of that, but I have my general knowledge of what's healthy, what I should be eating. You shouldn't be eating too much processed food. You should avoid that. Eating healthy fats, so not avoiding fats completely, just avoiding the unhealthy fats.
Like healthy fats, like avocados kind of thing?
Avocado, amazing. Coconut.
Anything peanut butter, I guess, like things.
And processed, you're just talking about. Are you like completely vegetarian or vegan or?
Vegan. Well, plant based. I'm completely plant based.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a choice later on in life, or?
That was So 2018, I think it was. So 4 years now.
Wow.
4 years next month. Yeah, that's how long I've been plant based for. And I started off. The first month was an alkaline diet. So alkaline was eating plant-based, but not eating genetically modified foods on top of that. So that was just like a whole other level. And then I was introduced to some delicious vegan foods. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to have to start eating some genetic GMO foods. Yeah, it's crazy fucking genetically modified.
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of like, for somebody who wants to get into it, I feel it's a huge learning curve, right? Because you don't know. We're so malinformed today. Like, it's very, very hard to.
Yeah, and the reason why I started eating this way wasn't because of a trend or anything. It was because my sister, Sarah, shout out to you. Appreciate you for getting me on this path. It's led me down this path to a lot of great things. And she presented to the whole family this guy named Dr. Sebi, and Dr. Sebi was talking about how we're eating a lot of foods that we're not supposed to, and it's harming our body instead of doing good. And there's certain foods that energize our body that we should be focused on eating. And like right away, like I don't know how the hell I did it. Like just like the next day, I was like, cool, cut every single thing out that I was eating and switched my diet completely. And since then, I've been eating plant-based.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I was gonna say, you guys had if I'm not mistaken, a partnership with Veg Ottawa, eh?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, yo, that's sick. Like, because so classified as Ottawa's first vegan gym, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And
it's true. Eh? Wow.
Yeah, and but I find that cool because it's also like you said, especially because in the fitness world in general. A lot of obviously people eat meat and things like that and like whatever to do certain sort of bulking up, but it's cool that you can have a space where it's like it's all about fitness, it's about the same sort of workout routines and gym gear and that kind of thing and people that are going, but you just promote like that sort of lifestyle as well. So it just and I like that you guys also like you're not necessarily telling people not to, you're like, okay, choose your diet and everything, but this is how I go about my day, and like, this is how I feel healthy, and it's a good way to maybe just think about things, and it's nice because you're actually helping people kind of wake up to that, and like.
Yeah, we don't intentionally trying to get people over to eating vegan, but it's cool when they become vegan. We get excited. We're like, oh shit, you want to become vegan? Yeah, we got you, man.
Yeah. That's sick though, man. And honestly, it just helps people. And like, I can't say like I'm super a super saint for like completely cutting it out, but it's like. Both of us have been eating a lot better. Yeah, like we've been eating a lot more like whole foods and just
I try to eat like, some people eat like.
But it makes a huge difference.
Three times a day. Like I'll eat meat like maybe 3 times a week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? like every 2 days. I try to anyway.
Yeah, everything in moderation, you know, like you don't want to, anything you overconsume is unhealthy for you, right?
Yeah.
So there are people out there who are eating like say people who are bulking or not even like just, they're just eating a bunch of meat every single day. It's like you're kind of, I don't want to say hurting, but you're making it hard for your digestive system.
Well, there's inflammatory, right?
Exactly. There's a lot of inflammatory stuff. And that's like, again, with the alkaline diet, it's like avoiding foods that cause inflammation in the body and build up of mucus in the body too. So
it's better for working out, right? Less inflammation.
Definitely. Less inflammation, better recovery, more energy.
Well, I'd say for the most part, cutting out like heavily processed foods in my life, like over the last like year or two, like that's made a huge difference. And again, it's not, you know, not completely maybe where I'd want to be on a regular daily diet, but it's just like such a huge difference from what I've experienced before, like and how I've felt every day and how I like positivity wise, and even just with working out consistently, like my whole mental state is completely shifted.
Yeah, man, like your gut is like, it's like I don't want to say it's like your second brain. It's like your main brain. Like
I've heard that.
If
I've
you,
heard that,
yeah, whatever you're eating, that's gonna affect everything that's going on in your mind. Like I forgot what percentage it is, but it's very high percentage. Like 80% of your serotonin comes from your gut. So like,
I didn't even know that.
so you wanna.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I thought it was just like from your brain.
We're gonna, don't quote me on that number, but go ahead.
We're not medical
and
professionals, but
you're not.
Yeah,
No,
but
like,
I can imagine
a lot of your
that.
serotonin comes from your gut. Whatever you put in your body is like very important to how you're gonna end up feeling at the end of the day. So
Wow. Yeah, no, I
so true.
A couple last questions here. I wanted to ask you, like, who are your favorite artists? What are you listening to, and do you listen to anybody locally?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm listening to A Cool Anonymous. Go check out that album right now on Spotify. A Cool is my nephew.
Nice.
Oh, nice. How do you spell it? Is it just like the letter A?
Akoul. So
Sick.
it's like cool. The beginning of my last name.
Your last name, yeah. Wow.
A cool. So
A Cool.
Akoul.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
So I go back and forth. Like I could listen to some like really hype music one minute, and then like the next song will be something like slow, something that I could like sing along with. Or I love Meek Mill.
I remember rocking some of that back in the day, with the big speakers, and if I'm not mistaken, Nas,
Okay. Yeah, and with my workout routines, so I think you talked about this earlier, guy. In the background, what you hear usually is some motivational speeches. So
Yeah.
when I was doing my live, I found out that, you know, they don't allow you to listen to music because they're like, it's copyright, whatever. So then my lives would fucking cut, and then I have to restart them. So I was like, you know what? Let me test this out. And there was a time in my life where I deleted everything on my, like all the music on my phone, and I only had like motivational speakers on it, and
Really?
I had them memorized. Like I could word for word what they're saying, just like, you know how you memorize lyrics.
Yeah.
I was listening to it that much that I knew every single thing that we're saying, and that's like.
Oh, I see now. So that's why it happened.
What?
Like that, you have motivational speakers because you got the whole thing with the playing like songs in your Instagram feed. Now I understand.
Yeah, I'd be having some hype music playing in the background if I could, but I didn't do my research in trying to figure out like how to make that work out. So, but motivational speeches, I love them. They motivate me, they push me, and that's something I would recommend to people to try. You know, if you're not feeling motivated or inspired, find something that you resonate with, like a motivational speaker that you want to listen to, and play that in the mornings to get you going. See what you need.
Joey Diaz or David Goggins.
Yeah, it's fucking Monday.
Yo, David Goggins.
David Goggins gets me going.
This guy, when I first listened to him, I was like, yo, this guy is too intense, man. I can't listen to him. But then I'm doing pretty much like, I listened to
What's
him.
it? Stay hard.
Yes.
Stay hard.
The one is the inner bitch. He talks about the inner bitch there, and he's like, and he's talking to Joe Rogan. He's like, the inner bitch doesn't take a day off or something. The inner bitch is always, and I was like, I could relate right away because that's that's exactly what it is. It's the inner bitch because I'm like, oh, like I feel like the planks, and I'm like, and I'm not even really like that, like physically exhausted. Like I know I can do more, but it's just like my brain be like, oh, okay, this sucks. Like, and then right away I was like, no, I like learn to actually like know what that what's going on. Like learn to associate that, and I associated it with inner bitch, and then like it helped me out a lot, you know.
No, it's funny because you kind of make a joke out of it in a way, and but it does actually help you hustle. And it's like I laugh about that because like that's how I feel as I look towards the pain as like success in a way. Like it's like, okay, if I do these extra 5 though, and I don't punk out on them, like it's like I'm gonna burn, but I'm gonna feel good. Like I'm gonna be like, yes, like I got to what I was aiming for. Like,
and it's only temporary too as well.
It is only
pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day, sometimes even a year, but eventually it will subside. I took that from Eric Thomas, by the way, so I gotta give him that credit. Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker.
That's awesome.
So good.
And what does the future look like for Soungui and Soungui Fitness?
Man, the future for Soungui Fitness.
Aspirations, goals.
I wanna be international eventually. I wanna open up a spot. Primarily, I'm looking to open up a location in Atlanta. So I wanna open up in the States. Really? Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty big, yeah. Why Atlanta?
I've been told that, you know, fitness and health over there is like a huge thing. It's not something that you have to chase after people to sell. It's something that's already like
really, it's already like
part of people's lives there, and everyone's always looking for it. And also, my sister lives there. I've been there a couple of times, and I think it'd be a great place to get started if I was gonna go open up in the States. I also here, what I would plan to do is open up a basketball court, indoor basketball court, because I see the great demand for it. Basketball is always and will be a passion of mine, and that's something I want to be able to provide to people, because there's not that many opportunities for people to go and work on their game and become the players that they want to become, because they're held back by lack of gym time or like
usually access to facilities, things like.
And I want to help take away those excuses, you know, because like myself too, like I feel like growing up playing basketball, I was so passionate, but it was always a struggle for me to get in the gym. Like I had to fight. Like I remember at Algonquin, I was playing on the team there for the Algonquin Thunder, and there was a weird rule where we couldn't access the gym without our basketball coaches being there, and I would always go in and ask the like supervisor there.
Really?
It was weird. Yeah, I think we lost the privilege because of something happened.
Okay.
But individually, I was like, yo, I play on the basketball team. Like I just want to go in and like practice, get shots up or something, and I had to keep pushing, and then one day, the lady that was the supervisor there was like, okay, because like they usually have like they have volleyball nets set up for like other intramural sports and stuff, and she's like, okay, if you help me take these down, then I'll let you have the gym for 15 minutes. And I was fucking stoked. I was like, yes, like something I had to fight for, like instead of having the opportunity to go somewhere and like shoot around. Like one time I even had to, like before practice, because I was very committed to getting in that extra work, because practice,
that's it,
limiting it to practice is not enough, you know, you got to put in the extra work outside. And I always had this work ethic. I remember having to fucking drive from Algonquin to downtown Ottawa to shoot at an outdoor basketball court before practice, because they wouldn't let me in the gym. And it was like little things like that. So I want to take away those challenges and excuses from what's currently going on with these athletes, specifically basketball players, and provide them with the opportunity to go and like, you know, become great.
Wow. And I didn't even know that was an issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I didn't understand it. I thought it was like, if to me, if at the time it felt like I was back in like high school or something. I'm like, yo, we're adults here. We can't access the gym without the coach. But
that's weird.
I think something went down. I don't clearly remember, but it was like while I was there, while I was going to school there, something happened, and they just lost the privilege to use the gym. Yeah.
Damn.
So Soungui, if there's any final words that you could convey to the listeners, anything that you want to end on a positive note, last words.
Yeah, last words. One thing I'm going to leave you all on is whatever you're chasing or pursuing in life, make sure you pursue it with passion, great passion, and you work towards something that you're passionate in, because that's where you'll be most successful.
Oof.
Those are amazing words.
That hits home for me.
That's some advice that we take home today. Honestly, we'd really like to thank you a lot for taking the time out of your day, especially being a business owner and running
absolutely.
a business. You're a
Yeah,
busy
man.
man, so to speak. So we're extremely grateful for you to come on our podcast. Just even having you here today, I feel like I've already learned a lot.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be so excited to edit this podcast because I'll be able to rehear everything.
Yeah.
So honestly.
I agree, and I would love to, like, as we progress and keep going, like, I'd love to have you back again. We're gonna keep doing it, and just you know, I hope you enjoyed the Kayo-Tea. I hope it was.
I love the Kayo-Tea, man. I'm gonna have to come get some of this tea from you, or like you could get it to one of the Justins, and I'll pick it up from them. I'll buy it from them.
Yeah, I'll send you home with a sample. I'll put some.
All right, cool.
We can give you
we have a bunch though.
Nice.
Everybody who's listening, we'd like to thank you guys today. You know, we're gonna have some links in the description. Like our shit, don't like our shit, it's all good. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Peace and love.
Signing off.